And you know this is where Britain's top commentators speak out on controversial issues without the fear of the cancel culture sweeping the rest of the media. And it's been apologies all round for Nigel Farage amid his debanking scandal, not least today the BBC's business editor who falsely reported Nige had his bank account closed because he was skint. Better late than ever, Simon Jack finally gave in to mounting pressure over the weekend to say sorry. He tweeted, "The information on which we based our reporting came from a trusted and senior source. The information turned out to be incomplete and inaccurate. I would like to apologise to Mr Farage." Now, Jack dined with the NatWest chief executive Dame Alison Rose the night before his dodgy story broke, leading to accusations he colluded directly with the banking boss. It comes as the BBC News chief executive, Deborah Turness, also sent a written apology to Farage for the gaffe in a stunning mea culpa today. So look, Kelvin MacKenzie, do you agree with Nigel Farage that actually the BBC, now that they've apologised, have probably done the right thing
they
here?
They were misled.
But it's Rose who comes increasingly under the microscope.
Yeah,
was she the source of the story? Well, if she was, does she need to go?
I imagine the way it took place, they're sitting next to each other. He turns to her, "What's the truth of this?" She said, "Could I urge you to look on the website and you'll see something about what funds are required to have an account." OK? Or she said, "Go to our head of comms and he will direct you to where the truth in this matter lies." She is done for. And so somebody is going to have to fall on their sword, right? It's either going to be Rose, which will be a good thing. She's done 5 years. In banking in this country, it's a miracle if you last literally more than about 24 months, right? Or it will be the chief executive of Coutts. Now, my issue in all this, of course, I'm a Coutts customer. And today they put out a survey asking you what you thought of Coutts. I can't imagine what the results are. So I urge Coutts to publish those results. They will be catastrophic. So the Coutts CEO has to go in order to end the problem.
Well, Kelvin, I'm hearing, and I don't know if you feel the same or if you've spoken to fellow Coutts customers, but I'm hearing there are a number of high net worth individuals who are completely disgusted by Coutts' conduct and are threatening to take their business elsewhere.
Well, the reason that they have a slight problem there, but the reason they are disgusted because normally Coutts, it all goes very quietly and everybody's very happy. It's all, you want to borrow 10 million quid, that's fine, it'll be done by Wednesday. Now, none of this can happen, right? Everything will be in the spotlight. No bank like Coutts wants publicity. So the situation is quite clear. Somebody is going to go in all this. It's either the CEO of Coutts, and if the CEO is now watching, of course, I'm a customer there. I hope I'm not going to suffer what is now known as a Farageism.
You're probably safe now, thank you, Mr Farage.
I think I am.
I don't want to come
I'm hiding behind my grandfather, Nigel Farage.
Kelvin, other big media news from the weekend. ITV, which is looking to try and save This Morning after the departure of Philip Schofield, is set to sign Holly Willoughby. But what's interesting about this, they're going to sign her on a bumper new contract, apparently worth over £700,000, without a permanent co-host. So a bit like Good Morning Britain post Piers Morgan, where Susanna Reid just sits alongside a rotating bunch of folk. They're deciding Holly is the star. Will that save the show, Calvin?
No, nothing will save the show now. These shows have a shelf life, and normally the public tire of it. Now, the stars appear to be tiring of it. Nobody seems to be getting on with each other. Alison doesn't get on with this other fellow and everybody. Nothing is going to work now. I'm afraid it's just no good. Now, they have to pay her more money because otherwise she becomes a freelance now. However, as a freelance, she wouldn't be making 700 grand to $1 million. She'd be, things would be quite nice. She doesn't have a cost of living crisis, but she won't make the same kind of money. So actually, she had to sign the deal. And actually, they were pleased to have her because it gives some certainty now for the next year, 18 months. But the audience will not survive. The audience will carry on drifting down because the future of television is either online or it's in smaller stations like yours, right? So the big broadcasters, it's a disaster right now. Channel 4, 5, complete catastrophe. There are no ads, nothing. It's uncomfortable. But Holly's doing fine, and I'm sure she'll be in work.
But we're probably never going to see those big moments again of like Fern and Phil or Richard and Judy or Holly and Phil. Those days.
Nobody in their right mind, with the exception of the chief executive of Coutts, is likely to want to go on This Morning in order to talk about some issue. If they want to do something without any pressure at all, they'll do a podcast. That's the future, I'm afraid, of that kind of mea culpa media.